All right. Wow, a song for Arbonne. Man, I there's so much I think we could all say, or anyone could say, or I could say about reading this book. Um, it's definitely great and spectacular. Now that I've read this, I understand why people love certainly GGK so much, and this book. I certainly love this book. It's spectacular. It's great. The characters, the world, the story, the people, the direction, the emotion of the novel. Uh, it's all just very good. I have some things I don't like about it, but overall it doesn't really matter because this is a great book and I can totally see myself rereading this numerous times over the course of my life. Uh, yeah, it's a great book. I think I think I think K is like such a. It's not the first K book I've written. Or sorry, I've wrote. What the heck? I've read. Uh, Kay is clearly such a great author at really setting emotion. There's just so many scenes in this book that just strikes emotionally, strikes a tone, strikes certainly a feeling, and he really does that extremely well in this book. Certainly, probably in his other novels. I've only read Dagana in this one, but yeah, it's just very clear he's extremely good at doing that, and like the I want to say nuance, but really the depth. He's very good at portraying like the depth of human emotion and human character, even in Dagana as well. But it's very clear in this one that he just really is extremely good at doing that. And I think really that's one of the huge reasons why people love this. I think love this book is that it really clearly just exudes so much soul, really, so much soul and feeling, and you really do feel, the power of these characters and the power of the story and the power of the setting and the power of, what is happening and what happened in the book. And I think that visceral, no, well, not visceral, but the ability to have that in a novel is enormously important. To have a successful certainly novel, but it's enormously important for people to love it when you have that much, or when the reader has that much of a connection to the novel. And I think again, it's because he's just so damn good at portraying human depth and really striking these scenes. I think there's a couple. Well, there's a lot of different scenes like that, but there's two in the book that really stood out to me as I was reading them. I'm not going to mention them, but there's two in the book that I don't think I'll. I think there's two scenes in this book that I'll just think about from time to time. I think for like probably the rest of my life because they're just so vivid. I had two just striking images in my mind as I was reading them as well, and I think yeah, it just shows his skill really of portraying true emotional depth. And I think that's something that a lot of authors struggle with. For any type of novel, really. I would say in the modern age, not so much in the past, but definitely the modern age, the contemporary and the now, call it whatever. That's something that definitely people struggle with. Is really striking. I think, the different emotional tones, whether it's more intense, or a little more subtle, or something in the middle. I think that's something that a lot of authors, again, fantasy, sci-fi, contemporary, whatever, whatever, whatever type of book. My God, excuse me. Whatever type of book it is, I think that's clearly something that authors in this current now struggle with. Yeah, I love this book. It's great. The characters, my God, like it's just so damn good. Really, I don't think there was really one bad. Excuse me, my goodness, one bad character. There's a couple that I think were kind of. I wouldn't say they were badly portrayed, but there's a couple that I think there was things left desired, and then I think there's a couple that weren't the greatest, but they're still amazing in like the idea of what they are and how he put them in the story. You know, definitely as well. There's just characters again. They just kind of will never forget all of them. Elaine, Bertrand, certainly Blaise. You know, the Countess, Urte. You know, there's just so many. Beatrice. You know, there's just so many. So yeah, this book's great. I love it. Totally recommend. You're totally missing out if you don't read. I think at least Guy Gavriel's earlier stuff, like it all just looks great. Yeah, I guess I could get into some of the things I didn't like. You know, there's one really kind of bad scene, I would say, kind of in the middle of the book, where literally everybody shows up. And as soon as as it was happening, I was like, I don't like this scene. I think this scene's bad. But other than that, you know, there's nothing really I could like really point to as something that's poor or bad, or I don't think he did a good job of doing in the novel. There's some things later that I don't like as much, and there's some things with the second half of the book that I think sort of fall apart. Fall apart. But I don't think it matters. I don't think it takes away with the greatness and the spectacularness of this book, or the people in it, or the story that he created. Even though I do think there's a couple things that I think fall apart a tiny bit at the end, and that I personally didn't like. But again, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, the world too. I think that's something I don't think I've really spoken. Yeah, I have not. But the world is it's just so cool. The world is cool, which is funny because at the beginning and even before the book, I kind of had this feeling, oh, am I going to like the world in this? But even by a third, or I think it was a third, definitely by halfway through, I was like, okay, no, I do love this world. I love Arbonne. It's definitely just a beautiful place to read from, really, or read about, I guess. Yeah, there's just so much. I think there's so much more I could say, but I'll kind of wrap it up. Yeah, it's a great book, great world, great characters. It's a great story. Kay definitely is an interesting guy, and I totally think you're missing out if you don't read this book and you're into any speculative fiction, sci-fi, fantasy. Like he clearly is a standout from from that period of writing. Is there anything else really I could say? Not really. Not really. Yeah, I'm just gonna do. Yeah, nothing. Is there actually? Give me a feeling. I have a feeling there's something I could. I guess I could say I do want. I don't think I've said this word yet, but yeah, Kay's imagination clearly is also quite beautiful. I think that needs to be recognized. His imagination, the world, the moons. Actually, and I'm staring at this book of the moons. You know, the not necessarily the backstory because there's not that much back history, but the setting, the people, just overall his imagination. I think that really does have to be recognized and credited because it is quite spectacular. You know, that this man imagined this, and you know, so many of his other books as well. I think that's something that really doesn't need to be said. His imagination is pretty damn fucking cool. Yeah. Okay, I'll end it there. Cool. Peace out. Take care, everyone.